Test, test, test. One, two, three. Hello and welcome to this VISAA semifinal matchup between St. Christopher's and Potomac. Potomac coming in seeded as the 2, the Saints the 3. This is going to be a great game. I'm Edison Palumbi alongside Riley Mullins. We thank all of you for tuning in. Riley, how are we feeling coming into this game?
I'm feeling St. Chris can pull up an upset here as the 3 seed going against the 2 seed Potomac. But Potomac had the most dominant performance in the quarterfinals, beating Stab 3-0, while St. Chris went into overtime and also PKs and won PKs 4-3, with Ben Smith having 2 saves during those PKs. However, Ben Smith is not starting today, and it is Dougie. So we'll see how that goes.
St. Christopher's, the reason they're only seeded 3 is early in the season they struggled, but once the calendar turned in November, other than a loss here at City Stadium to Collegiate and a draw on the road with Stab, they've been flawless. So Saints definitely a very dangerous opponent, and they're the only team this year that has beaten Collegiate. So when they play their game, they can beat anyone in the state.
Headlining, though, today, we're missing Jackson Carline due to illness. He had 104 fever last night, so he could not, or all day yesterday, so he cannot play today and is still homesick. And Beckett Schofield's coming back from an illness and is not starting in the starting lineup, and he's one of our captains. So 2 big players that Saints are going to be missing, but hopefully he can still pull off this upset.
Starting in place of Carlin is going to be number 22, Max Mumford, and starting in place of Schofield, number 5, the sophomore Tyler Overstreet. Saints in white, Potomac in navy. Should be in for a great game here under the lights at City Stadium. Saints narrowly escaped defeat on Monday against Cape Henry Collegiate. They scored early in the 17th minute. Charlie Hudson opened the scoring for them. Cape Henry soon equalized. No more scoring for the rest of the match. They went into extra time. No one scored. Penalties. Ben Smith came up huge with 2 saves. And the Saints advanced. Now they take on the 2nd-seeded Potomac Panthers here. And the winner of this match will be taking on either Collegiate or Norfolk Academy here on Friday. So Saints obviously going to look to repeat as state champions. And last year in that semifinal, they did play Potomac. Wes Wise won it in the 75th minute for them. It's Kellen Welch going to clear that one into the stands.
Even though St. Chris went into overtime and PKs with Cape Henry, in the second half, they were the most dominant team by far, keeping the ball on the offensive side. They just couldn't finish. So that's going to be something to look out for today, is them being able to finish. They had 3 goals that were inside the box that they just, or 3 shots inside the box that they just sailed over or outside of the goal. So see if they can put them on target today.
As that's going to be a throw, it'll ricochet off of Potomac and over the touchline for a goal kick. And St. Chris, in their last 3 games coming into the playoffs, they outscored their 3 opponents 13-1. But you could have argued that it should have been a lot higher, especially in their game, their fall festival game against Stab. There were a lot of big chances missed, against Benedictine. Even though they did win that game 4-0, probably should have been about 7-0. So the chance creating has been their strong suit this year, and if they can just execute on when they do get those big chances, it's going to be very tough to beat them. It's great work there from Stephen Bouchard defensively. He's going to win a throw. Tried to get it over to Matt Sovich. That's going to be cleared out for another Saints throw.
This is what St. Chris wants, is a slow pace up the sides. I don't think normally in soccer you want to penetrate through the middle, but today I think St. Chris is going to want to attack the sides and then get across in without having Jackson in the middle to help initiate their offense.
Up in the air. Jack Bleacher got a foot on it. It's whiffed. Here's Bleacher now. Campbell Stalker right at the keeper. Good early look for the Saints. Jack Bleacher nearly had a chance, but couldn't get a foot on the high bouncing ball.
That shot was on target, but we need a little bit better placement. Last Monday, Campbell Stalker had an easy tap-in shot, and he sailed it right, and that's one of the goals shot opportunities I was talking about. But at least this time he put it on cage.
Some students starting to pile in now for St. Christopher's. Likely not going to see much of a student section at all. Probably nothing for Potomac, as it's about 2 hours up the road.
Even though St. Chris is the 3 seed, like I've said already, it's going to be more like a home game for them. Played in this stadium multiple times, and we'll have the students here. I know a lot of the football players will be showing up after their practice.
And foul called there on Campbell Stalker. It's a really gorgeous ball in. It's Lloyd Marshall.
Looks like a missed kick right there.
Yeah, it might have been clipped, but Mumford can't come up with an accurate pass. Eli Butler has it.
Today and rest of the playoffs, we're playing 40-minute halves. So if it goes to overtime, we play 5-minute overtimes to see who will win and go to PKs if needed.
There's a really nice ball, and they're going to award a goal kick. Great work from Bashara to cut off William Bennett from getting there. Saints still coming out in that 4-3-3. Your fullbacks, Tyler Overstreet and Stephen Bashara. Charlie Hudson tries to loft one in for Bleacher. It's going to be cleared out. Your center backs are Evan Broughton and Kellen Welch. Once again, we mentioned the absence of Beckett Schofield today. Your defensive midfielder going to be Max Mumford. Your 2 attacking midfielders, Campbell Stalker and Charlie Hudson. The wingers, Matt Sovich and Grayson DeCosmo. And leading the attack is Jack Bleacher. Welch gets a good head on it. It's with Bleacher. Sends it to DeCosmo. Tries to whip it in. No one there. Mumford going to fight for it. And this is going to be a counterattack now for Potomac. But great work from Kellen Welch. He slows it down. One back by by Potomac. And now they are going to look to run.
It's a little too much ball chasing right here for St. Chris defense, and think they need to play their zones a little bit better, especially on transitions.
Jack Bleacher going to try to race that one down. Cannot get there, however. I think that was more of just a clearance than something that they intended Bleacher to be able to try to get to. As it's a frantic minute or so for the Saints as Potomac got some good looks going. Potomac only lost 1 match all year. That came,
Was their only loss to Collegiate 1-0? Because I know they lost to Collegiate 1-0 earlier this year. So if that's their only loss, then
I stand corrected.
It's going to be a hard team to compete today.
Yeah, I stand correct. That was not their only loss. That was their only common opponent with St. Christopher's. And Saints, they split against Collegiate. Won once, 2-1 at Massey Field, and then lost 4-1 at City Stadium. So that's Evan Broughton. Normally wears number 2, wearing 21 tonight. But yeah, the only common opponent for these two teams was Collegiate. Potomac lost 1-0. The Saints.
Stab as well was a common opponent who Potomac just beat, though.
Oh, yeah. I was thinking regular season, but yes, both teams did play Stab. So now Max Mumford tries to loft one in for DeCosmo. That's a gorgeous ball. It's Grayson DeCosmo. Can't run it down, and the goal kick will be awarded.
So far, big difference between the early the beginning of the game for St. Chris from Monday to today is their physicality and controlling it. Monday they had 2 early yellow cards by Jack Bleacher and Grayson DeCosmo, which made them be not as aggressive and physical rest of the game. So glad to not see them get any yellow cards so far through this 8 minutes of the game.
Really nice work there from Potomac. Gorgeous slide tackle from Mumford. He's going to, on the ground, clears it out. It'll be 1 back by Charlie Hudson. The Saints are going to look to counter. As Matt Sovich slips, he couldn't readjust his body as the pass from Hudson a bit behind him. As Kellen Welch lets that go through his legs, and it's right to Dougie Boardman. Saints so far this year have been alternating their goalkeepers by half. Ben Smith usually has been the starter with Dougie playing the second half, but it looks like they're going to flip that tonight as there's a through ball from Steven Bishara, and Sovich couldn't control it. It'll be a throw coming for the Panthers. Bishara gets ahead on it. And really nice pressure from the Saints. Campbell Stalker.
He's going to need to have a big game today without Jackson Carline as Campbell Stalker. So see if he can control the midfield area for Saints today.
Here's Bleacher. Sends it over to Tyler Overstreet. In for DeCosmo. Welch. Stalker. Really nice work from Potomac to make the Saints lose all that momentum they had. That's not a good pass, as Potomac would have had a chance, but very poor first touch. Hudson didn't realize a man was behind him there, and he gives it away. And then Colin Cordell didn't see the pass coming as he glanced away for a second. And Hudson's pass off target, but Mumford gets a body on it. Bashar can't control it.
We do have Son Olsen and Beckett Schofield being waiting to be subbed in. 2 guys that had that apply a lot to this St. Chris soccer team. Beckett is one of the captains who's coming back from illness, but Son Olsen is a sophomore who I think had one of his best games ever this year, last Monday.
It's nearly a very dangerous pass, as Sovich was about a step away from having a one-on-one chance with the keeper if he had managed to intercept that. William Bennett. Great work from Bashara. It's going to be a throw, and subs now coming on for the Saints. Sutton Olison and Beckett Schofield as Mumford and Overstreet exit. We don't know how much of Schofield we will see tonight, as not fully fit with the illness, but Coach Wood obviously going to try to get as much of him in there as he can, as he's by far their best defender. His
mistouch right there.
You can see a bit of nerves from Potomac, as there have been some very simple passes been off target.
It's a little bit for both teams, I would say. The nerves are getting to them. Excitement of the semifinals in a big stadium like this.
Probably also the weather, as it's a little bit chilly. Here's Jack Bleacher, tries to dribble 2 men. Got by the first, couldn't get by the second. Really nice ball. Potomac going to look to counterattack. And Steven Bashara is going to win back the row for the Saints. He has been so good at that left back position this year for them.
Ooh,
Jack Bleacher
that will
very
be a
physical
yellow.
there. And he will be booked. So 2 straight games with a yellow for Bleacher as Eli Butler is down. Obviously, Bleacher's going to need to be careful on that yellow, as not only can the Saints not afford to be a man down in this game, if they were to advance, his season would be over with the suspension that would come from that red card if he picks up another yellow. So he's got to be careful for the rest of this game. The Saints cannot lose his goal-scoring ability.
The head official for this game was also one of the officials against Cape Henry, so he understands how physical St. Chris is.
So there's a cross in, going to be cleared out. Sovich tries to send it deep, but Bleacher cannot run it down. Once again, I think that was more of a clearance than a through ball, as Bleacher nearly got to that pass. Really nice pressure from the Saints. Stalker wins it back. Here is Campbell Stalker. And for Matt Sovich. Sovich takes on the shot. It's blocked. And the Saints are going to have their first corner of the night.
I like that shot opportunity right there, just trying to get shots on goal more than Potomac is going to be the name of the game today for Saints.
It's not going to go down in the stat sheet, but Jack Bleacher, with his effort, sprinting back to that and forcing a bad pass from the keeper out to the left back, that is what caused the Saints to regain possession there and then win the corner. As DeCosmo sends it in, it's going to be low and right at Potomac. He's going to win it back. He sends it in. And try to get it to Bashar, but it was taken in by Potomac. They try to clear it out, and Saints win it back, but there Olsen couldn't find a pass as Mumford comes back on, and then we're going to see Cade Cox and Daniel Kehoe for the first time tonight as DeCosmo, Bleacher, and Hudson will all come off. Bashar tries to send it to Kehoe. And Daniel Kehoe wins it back. He sends it in. Sovich can't get a foot on it. And that shot going to be wide.
Missed opportunity right there from Matt Sovich. He should have at least connected with that ball, letting it get all the way through. He's going to be kicking himself in the foot later for that.
Yeah. That was Broughton who took that shot and went wide to the right. And a big chance missed from the Saints after some really nice work from Daniel Kehoe to win that ball back. It's Eli Butler. It's the man Bleacher collided with earlier. He's limping, and it looks like he's going to need to come off. Campbell Stalker over for Max Mumford. Mumford sends it over for Broughton. Evan Broughton. It's going to be a throw now coming for the Saints.
That was a great cross pass by Max Mumford right there, just flipping the field quickly.
Kehoe back to Broughton. He sends it in. It's at the feet of Daniel Kehoe. And the shot from Sovich going to be saved.
Those were like 2 missed touches that almost ended up in a goal right there from Matt Sovich and also Daniel. So 2 opportunities right there for Matt Sovich to score and does not capitalize on those.
There's a very poor goal kick there that goes straight out of bounds. Max Mumford sends it over for Broughton. Sutton Olison. Through ball for Daniel Kehoe. It's going to be a bit strong.
Too far. For the first 18 and some change minutes, St. Chris has been the more dominant or more aggressive team to say compared to Potomac, who's just sitting back and allowing St. Chris to come at them and make their mistakes. But Potomac hasn't been able to capitalize on St. Chris mistakes due to Potomac's own mistakes.
Potomac been very conservative in their build-up. They look to be sitting back and just trying to capitalize on counterattacks. As pass from Mumford looked like it was clipped. That'll be sent out for a Saints throw. This bleacher will come back on now.
Bleacher's coming in for Matt Sovich.
Ben Scharf enters for Potomac. Bashara, he's going to be fouled. He's going to set up a free kick now for the Saints.
This is about the exact same spot St. Chris scored on their goal on Monday with a free kick. They kicked it into the box, and Charlie Hudson got a header into the goal. And they've scored on about 3 to 5 times this year as a free kick from about this area.
Yeah, they've been very aggressive with their free kicks, as almost every time they've tried to send them into the box. Stephen Bashar will take it. He sends it in. Going to be a bit short. Still up for grabs. Stalker has it. It's going to be cleared out. And Schofield does such a good job at winning it back.
That should be something.
That's going to be another foul. So about 15 seconds later, the Saints set up a second free kick. This one will be Schofield taking it.
That just shows right there how valuable Beckett Schofield is and his defensive skills, stopping a fast break opportunity that Potomac could have had. But he was there to force a free kick for Saints.
Sutton Olison taking it. He chips it in towards Jack Bleacher. Falls with Campbell Stalker. And be taken in by William Lyle. Sutton Olison. Nice cut back there. He sends it over to Bashara. Stalker. At this point, Schofield's been on for about 13 minutes. Like we were mentioning earlier, we don't know how much he's going to play tonight with the illness, but sends it in for Jack Bleacher. Falls near Daniel Kehoe. He is going to be leveled in the air, but they're going to say it was an attempt for the ball, I guess, as it falls back at the feet of Steven Bashara. Olson in for Kehoe.
With the officials allowing both teams to be a little physical through this point of the game, I think it's going to help St. Chris more than Potomac, because St. Chris is known as a very physical team, very aggressive, and it's shown so far today with the offense and defensively.
As Hudson and DeCosmo come on, as Campbell Stalker and Cade Cox come off.
So far, Coach Wood has managed the subbing fairly well today up to this point. I know it's going to be a little more difficult than other games he's had, so big changes, more kids with more playing time than normal. See how they play out.
It's Bashara And for Hudson, Charlie Hudson has it taken away. Kehoe can't get there, but be cleared out and right to the feet of Beckett Schofield. So Mumford sends it in for Jack Bleacher. Ball was a bit short, but it's right back to Sutton Olison. Hudson for Daniel Kehoe. Kehoe sends it in. It's going to be blocked, and that's going to be a corner coming for St. Christopher's now. So Grayson DeCosmo will take the corner. You see Kehoe lined up there. See where DeCosmo sends it. He will send it in. It's going to be taken in now by Jack Bleacher.
Get a shot off.
Bleacher. Somehow that stays in. Looked like it might have ricocheted back off Bleacher. Potomac's going to look to counterattack, but Schofield is right there.
Great play right there by Beckett Schofield once again.
He sends it back to Max Mumford.
Doesn't look like his illness is getting to him yet, but it's going to be more with his stamina than his skill, of course. See how long he'll last straight, because he could play a good amount.
Hudson tries to send it through for Grayson DeCosmo, but it's going to go over the goal line.
With Coach Wood subbing a lot more than Potomac's head coach, Valencia, I think that's going to benefit St. Chrismore with later the game goes on, being more fresh with their players' legs.
Yeah, that's always a strength Coach Wood's teams have, is the depth is usually unmatched.
Especially during this week where you play 3 games in 5 days for a state championship opportunity.
I mean, you could argue that the Saints B team could still be playing if they were in the playoffs. Is they just have so much depth. Here's a good ball, and it's taken away from Olison, and they're going to give a goal kick. Always the biggest strength of these Saints teams, as normally if you're about to play a state semifinal and you're without your D1 commit and your best defender is not fully fit, most teams would panic, but the Saints have so many guys who can fill those roles. And obviously they'd love to have Jackson Carlin and Beckett Schofield at full health, but they know they can still manage with those reserves playing some bigger minutes, as it's a poor ball.
What I want to see is St. Chris does come out with a victory today. See if Jackson is able to come back Friday against Norfolk Academy or Collegiate for his last game ever as St. Chris. For St. Chris, and Beckett Schofield should be fully recovered by then, which will help them more in the finals.
Yeah, next year Jackson going to be playing at JMU. Here's a good run for Potomac. Their first good look of the night. And Schofield.
That's Grayson DeCosmo.
Wow, wait. That was Grayson DeCosmo. He was playing very deep. And a foul will be called. It'll be going to St. Christopher's. They're going to look to regroup quickly. Great through ball from Overstreet to Matt Sovich. Sovich sends it in for Charlie Hudson. Hudson tries to chip it over for Bleacher. It's going to be sent away. But it's already won back by the Saints as it's DeCosmo. He resets to Broughton. It's Max Mumford now. Charlie Hudson. Hudson tries to send it in for Bleacher. It's blocked. He gets it back. And it's blocked again, but it falls right to Jack Bleacher. And it's going to be cleared away.
It's a little mistouch right there from St. Chris. Should have been able to settle that ball right there.
Yeah, definitely a tough look for Jack, as he had to do a 180 on that. Sovich tried to get it to Sutton Olson, but it goes right through his legs. If you're the Saints, you have to be at least somewhat frustrated with the score. So you've completely dominated the game the whole way. So here's a good look. 2-on-3. Sovich. The cross was blocked. That was the best look of the night for the Saints. on a counter.
He needed to lead that a little bit more. I know he's scared of the goalie coming out and intercepting that, but with the position where Jack Bleacher was, I think he needs to lead it more, even if it's on the ground, than try to put it over the defender of Potomac.
Yeah. So Overstreet can't run that one down as Potomac looking to create something here. And it's going to be a throw for the Panthers. Honestly, with the way the center backs went and played Bleacher there on that 2-on-2, I think Sovic could have just taken that himself.
He could have. And he's a lefty, so he's on the right side of the field for a good shot opportunity for him.
Hudson great work there from DeCosmo. I mean, it's for the winger role he plays, he certainly provides a lot defensively.
Charlie Hudson's stand-up today is going to be very huge without Jackson, of course. And he's normally one of the subs. They do a three-man rotation with Stalker, Hudson, and Carline. But without Jackson today, I don't know how much other midfielders they'll put in to get them breaks today. So he's going to be able to play all 80 minutes that will be played.
Stalker won it back, but then gave it away. 3-on-5 now for Potomac. It's going to be won back by Bashara, temporarily at least, and he boxed out Lawson Watt. '30th minute now. Scoreline still at 0-0. If you're St. Christopher's, has to be a bit demoralizing for this to still be tied, as they've completely dominated possession. They've dominated positioning, but just haven't been able to come up with that big chance in the final third. And
even though it is frustrating.
Here's a good look for Potomac. Schofield gets there. He's under some duress, and it's going to be called for a foul.
But going back to what I said, even though it is frustrating that St. Chris hasn't capitalized, it's still great that they're in these positions with how weak they're missing, or big players they're missing today. And I know some of the players were worried coming into here today, but they're not showing it on the field. And if anything, they're being more aggressive than they normally are.
So here's Jack Bleacher. Really nice touch there. He had a swarm of Panthers around him when he tried to corral that. Schofield in for Bleacher. Jack Bleacher, through ball for Bashara. Steven Bashara going to look to create something. That's really good work there. It's Charlie Siliza. Kellen Welch comes on now for Broughton. The throw in for Jack Bleacher. He tries to create something there, but didn't have enough room. It'll be a goal kick coming for Potomac.
I think St. Chris should have thrown that back and reset up, or thrown it to Matsovic for him to lob it into the box instead of just throwing it straight into the box to Bleacher. Been a better opportunity.
Yeah, Bleacher didn't really have an angle there. There's some very dangerous play from Potomac, letting those center backs handle the ball that deep, but it pays off for them. They have a really good counterattack coming, but couldn't come up with a good final ball. And there'll be a goal kick coming now for St. Christopher's. Earlier we talked about how Dougie Boardman and Ben Smith alternate halves in goal. We're likely to see Smith come out for the second half, but Dougie has had to do nothing so far other than his goal kicks. No shots on target. He can thank the Saints defense for giving him some pretty light work so far this game. To Overstreet. As Stalker somehow comes away with that, but foul is called.
Late call. foul was questionable, but
I
you got to understand what the refs are going to call, which they haven't been calling that all day. Pulling that out at the 33-minute mark is very odd for the officials.
So they're going to send this one in. It's up for grabs. Bashara heads it. It's the shot going to be skied. And they will give a goal kick. Might have been a very generous decision for St. Christopher's, as I think someone blocked that. Yeah.
But I think Dougie could have came out of the goal and got it from was that Bashar that headed it out. He could have grabbed the ball. There was no one around him and just made it much easier and not as scary positioning for St. Chris.
Yeah, that's the
does end up in their hands at the end of the day.
That's the biggest difference between Dougie Boardman and Ben Smith. As Ben is much more aggressive, as he'll come out very far to try to reclaim a ball.
You can see him already warming up behind the goal.
Kellen Welch.
It's hard to beat Kellen Welch on a header at 6'6". Great play right there by Potomac's number 18.
William Bennett. These last 5 minutes, Potomac has looked much better than they did for the first 30. As they've been creating a lot more, actually putting pressure on the Saints defense. As
I think that's a lot more to St. Chris pressing and going back to what you said with them being frustrated not finishing, and now they're really wanting a goal. Somebody wants to be the Superman instead of working together.
As Stalker does a great job to intercept that. He's going to look to run. He gets it to Charlie Hudson. It's a 4-on-3. Campbell Stalker touches it over for Sovic. He couldn't corral it, but he does get it back. Matt Sovic whips it in, and that cross well off target.
Matt Sovic could have taken his time there and not been off balance, maybe get a touch in and then cross it in. Instead, he tried to get it while moving away from the goal. But it was another good opportunity forming right there for St. Chris. And as we speak, St. Chris is putting 3 more people back in this sub box.
As Bleacher, Evan Broughton, and Sutton Olison are going to come on. Here's a really good look for Potomac now. But such good work there from Campbell Stalker. Back to Kellen Welch. Sends it over to Schofield. It's Bashara with some space. Tried to get it to Kehoe, but the defender was reading him like a book. Schofield over to Kellen Welch. Time winding down in this first half. Only 1 shot on goal for the Saints, but multiple very good looks that they haven't been able to convert.
It's been 2 shots on goal. We've had one by Stalker and one by Matt Sovic, but.
Oh, yes, you're correct. Forgot about the one from Sovic. Foul is going to be called on Potomac.
So another free kick coming up here.
This one might be a bit too far for them to try to send it in, but who knows?
I think with Matt Sovic coming out here to do it, I think they're going to probably keep it out, not send it in, like you were saying, but
also
they're setting up like they're going to send it in.
Yeah, also, going straight on is usually a pretty tough angle for that, because it has to be weighted perfectly to get it in between the defense and the keeper. Much less room for error than you would get from the side, but Sovic does send it in. And it'll be cleared out by Potomac.
Scary.
Right to Kellen Welch. As Stalker can't get the header, but it's over for Daniel Kehoe. He couldn't control it, but he will be called for a foul. As his effort to control that ball ended with him kicking Potomac defender.
with 2 minutes left before added time possible, St. Chris cannot allow any opportunities here from Potomac because you've been the most dominant team so far. If you give Potomac any momentum going into halftime, it's going to be very hard to get that back in the second half with them starting with the ball.
Here's Bashara. His pass intercepted, but Stalker knocked it away but couldn't control it. And Broughton, Bleacher, and Olsen come on for the Saints. Mumford, Overstreet, and Sovich are going to come off. They are likely done for this first half. This game very reminiscent of the match these two played at City Stadium last year in the semifinal. That one, the Saints came in as the 2 seed and Potomac the 3, but scoreless for the first 75 minutes before Wes Wise won it. Here's Schofield as time winding down here in this first half. It's Broughton. His pass is intercepted. Potomac 3-on-4.
Big play right there by Simon
Huge
Olsen.
tackle from Olsen. It's going to turn a Potomac counterattack into a Saints counter. So that's sent over for Kehoe. And Potomac maybe going to look to create one more chance before the half. It's given away right to Kellen Welch and sent out. So I imagine we will get a pretty solid amount of additional time, as now the clock has reached 40 minutes. So that's going to be over the line. Goal kick coming now for St. Christopher's. As DeCosmo comes on.
I can see St. Chris being very aggressive here with only added time left. Don't know how long the added time is, sadly, but I'm expecting around the 3-minute mark, 2 to 3 minutes.
As header be won back by Potomac, and foul was called. They're going to send it in. So their first good look of the night is going to be intercepted by DeCosmo. Cleared out, and that will do it for your first half. 0-0 your score at the half, but the Saints definitely been the much more dominant side, and we'll be back in 10 minutes for the second half.
This is STC TV, the one and only streaming service for St. Christopher's athletics. From varsity sports to middle school sports, we've got you covered.
They rush the corner! Nash looking to run,
and
he hurdles him! And it is deep. Out. Saints are state champs. He's got a lot of space. It's wide open. Touchdown, Saints!
As always, thank you for tuning in. Now sit back, relax, and enjoy the stream.
Hello and welcome back to this second half. I'm Edison Palumbi alongside Riley Mullins. Relatively uneventful first half. Saints did create a few big chances, but no threatening shots on goal. Potomac couldn't create anything. And one of our questions coming into the game was the fitness of Beckett Schofield. He started the game on the bench. He came on in about the 8th minute, hasn't came off since, so
he looks like he's fine to play for the rest of the game. He's stopped 2 fast breaks so far that Potomac had, and he's just been playing very physical, which I know Coach Wood loves the defense to play. And on the other hand is our midfield and forwards have been playing very aggressive on the offensive side and pushing the ball, even though it hasn't ended in a goal yet. I think it's wearing down this Potomac's defense very, very well. And with that as well, Potomac's not subbing much compared to St. Chris is. So later this game goes on, if it stays 0-0, I think St. Chris has the higher chances throughout the game with more depth and them being a lot more aggressive so far. And in the games before, St. Chris played in a close game. Potomac didn't really play in that close a game. It was a 3-0 win. So see how the maturity level of these players end up.
I definitely think that a long physical game would favor the Saints, as they're much more experienced than Potomac. Or, sorry, not much more experienced, but they're a very experienced team, and they're much more physical than Potomac, and their squad's also a lot deeper, so a lot less tired legs out there. It's Max Mumford. Over to Broughton. It's Grayson DeCosmo. Campbell Stalker. Like we mentioned last year, these two teams played in a game that was eerily similar to this match. State semis here at City Stadium. It was a very low-scoring game, and as a foul is called on DeCosmo.
I don't know what Grayson could have done there. He wasn't trying to take out his legs. He was playing the ball, which St. Chris had the exact same thing earlier that didn't get called. So
yeah,
right there, I believe it should be a play on and not be called.
Potomac did something more aggressive to the Saints earlier, and it wasn't called. As I mean, there it looked like Lloyd Marshall just tried to jump over DeCosmo. Like, I don't know what you want Grayson to do there. So
love to see this defense right here from Matt Sovich. Normally one of the wingers playing hard man-to-man defense like that. It's very good to see.
the press from the Saints has been so good. Potomac struggling to find anything.
I want to see what changes Coach Wood makes from last half to this half. So far, it looks like they're just going to be more aggressive on the press, like you just mentioned. But what changes he makes offensively, because they are getting their chances, but they're not finishing them. Maybe that's personnel, but see what comes up.
Broughton gives it away. It'll be a throw for the Saints. It's Jack Bleacher. For DeCosmo. It's Charlie Hudson. Back for Broughton. He sends it in. Nobody's there. It's sent up in the air. And Potomac does a great job to win it back. They're going to look to counter. Great work from the St. Christopher's midfields. That is immediately shut down. As Bashara going to control it. He is pushed down.
Into the ref. The ref calls it.
That's very late call there.
He also fell on the ground, so he had a chance to let him get up, but that was a very aggressive play right there by Potomac's player.
Something Bashara is very good at is when the ball is approaching either the touchline or the goal line and an opponent was the last one to touch it, Bashara is very good at shielding the ball, and instead of having to pick it up in a very dangerous position, as there's a very dangerous pass from Smith.
I think that was a little bit miscommunication. I think he hit it a little too hard, so Beckett didn't think it was going to him. but it looked like it was.
A great tackle from DeCosmo, but Potomac does get it back temporarily as now Campbell Stalker intercepts the pass, and Saints momentarily will clear the danger.
St. Chris defense so far has been composed. The couple times they've got scored on later in the season is they start panicking and start overplaying the ball is when the opponents start scoring. So seeing them compose and playing their spots is really good defensively so far.
I think the biggest key as Bleacher gives it away, and Potomac going to look to counter. They have a 3-on-3. As Kellen Welch intercepts the pass, he will clear it out. Great work from him. As DeCosmo sends it deep, Jack Bleacher cannot run it down. It'll be cleared out, and a Saints throw is coming. But what I was saying was, I think whoever scores first has a very good chance of winning this game. As Potomac, we've seen them sitting back all game. If they can score that first goal, they're going to be even more extreme with their parking the bus. And if the Saints can score first, it puts a lot of pressure on Potomac to have to be more aggressive in their offense, which is not what they've been wanting to do so far. We sent out another throw coming.
And with that, St. Chris's defense, like you mentioned earlier, only allowing one goal in the past three. How many games is it? 5? Allowing one goal in the past couple games is very strong. I know it's soccer, low-scoring games, but one goal in 4 or 5 games is ridiculous. So you know their defense is on a good streak right now. So if St. Chris does score, it's going to be hard to score against them, especially with the momentum that they will have.
Yeah, if the Saints can get that first goal and go up 1-0, you're likely to see Coach Wood maybe switch to a 5-3-2 instead of the current 4-3-3 that he's playing, as goal differential is not going to matter in these games. It matters in the regular season for standings or for poll purposes, but as Broughton got away with going over the touchline for a second, but like I was saying, goal differential matters in the regular season for polling purposes. But in these games, all that matters is whoever comes out on top. So there's no difference between if you win 6-0 or if you win 1-0. As you see, Collegiate, they're starting to come on into the stands. They await to see who their final opponent could potentially be. They're going to take on Norfolk Academy as that ball's whipped in and fall right to the hands of Ben Smith.
That's been the most promising play that Potomac's had all day, but Ben Smith is there.
Yeah, it looked like Ben Sharp couldn't really get a touch on it, and I think he tried to control it, ended up flying towards Smith, and falls right into his arms. This is something Ben is very aggressive with. It's Campbell Stalker. He does a great job to win that back. It's Max Mumford now. He sends it over for Matt Sovich. Sovich, he sends it in. Nearly got it to DeCosmo, but he couldn't. Stalker whiffs. He's going to recontrol it. It's Campbell Stalker over to Matt Sovich.
It again.
And the flag was up.
That's the opportunity, though, that St. Chris wants. Great play by Campbell Stalker, like you said, by getting it out to Matt Sovich and attacking the wings, the wing forwards to do a crossing is the most productive play that St. Chris has all year, basically.
Yeah, you want to see Sovich sending that ball in for DeCosmo and sending it in for Jack Bleacher, as that's where a lot of the Saints' success has come. Is that left flank with Bashara, or with the Welch to Bashara to Sovich build-up has been very, very strong for the Saints this year.
And now with the weather getting even colder out here, see if that affects the game, and windier, the wind's starting to pick up. That's just going to bring more cold here. If y'all could hear it, it's because we're outside, so That's our bad.
Sovic and Bashara tied for the team lead with 4 assists this year. As it's going to go over the head of Schofield, but it'll be cleared out. So now Saints temporarily clear the danger, but they get it right back. Sutton Olsen over for Broughton. Sends it to Stalker. Couldn't get a great first touch on. He tries to keep it alive, but it's right to Potomac.
That might have been the wrong play right there by Stalker.
It's Bashara races for it, and that's going to be over the touchline. Throw coming for Potomac. First 10 minutes of this second half are through. The Saints looked very good. But I think Potomac has improved a lot coming out of the half, as they've been much more aggressive on the ball, as that could have been a huge chance if it wasn't for some great work there.
I think that's definitely something, a coaching change they made at half.
As this is a dangerous chance. It'll be cleared out temporarily. This great work from Bashara to win that back. Saints are going to look to counter. Bashara up for Matt Sovic. He can't run it down, however.
But that was definitely, what I was saying was that was definitely a coaching change by Potomac. They were sitting back being really relaxed, but now they're being super aggressive, and it's putting pressure on St. Chris now. With that, St. Chris starts overplaying a lot is when you put pressure on their defense. So that's when they let up goals. See if they stay composed, which they have so far throughout this game.
As Stalker sends it deep, and Jack Bleacher can't get there. Goes into the hands of William Lyle. Potomac, they've been playing their best football recently. There's some really good build-ups the second half. Scharf, Colin Cordell, JP Sinitsky. As Stalker dragged down Clay Chapman, it's going to set up a free kick for Potomac. Potomac looking for something. Here's their first big chance of the night. It's going to be blocked by Welch. Smith will fall on it. Chase Edwards nearly came up with the first chance created, or first serious chance created for Potomac, but great defensive work from Kellen Welch.
With Potomac being a lot more aggressive in the second half, that might have been something Coach Wood saw in the film and switched the goalies the first half to second half, because Ben Smith does have a 25% better saving percentage than Dougie. So maybe he put him in the second half instead of the first half, which Ben Smith normally plays the first half. So that could have been a coaching fix, because I know they watched film earlier today.
Yeah, Dougie much more Ben's much more aggressive than Dougie. And while a lot of the times that does play into his benefit, can also lead to some big mistakes, like we saw at City Stadium 2 weeks ago against Collegiate when he was too sloppy in possession before a goal kick. He gave it away, led to a free tap-in for Collegiate. Here's Campbell Stalker. Sends it over for Broughton. Evan Broughton up for Carson Stalker, his first action of the night. And he has a great first touch as he drops Edwards. But Broughton gives it away, and Potomac going to look to counter. As Campbell Stalker slips. And that's going to be blocked. And a corner one for Potomac, their first of the night. Can they finally come up with that big chance?
don't know how aggressive Potomac is on these corners. Don't know how they like to play. Don't know how many times they score on it. But with it being 54-minute mark, you know most likely they're going to send it in to try to get a shot opportunity. Because no team has got a really that good of a look so far today.
Maybe Lloyd Marshall taking it, but Patrick Ritter lined up right there. Marshall sends it right to Ritter. He's going to dance to Charlie Hudson. It'll be blocked in another corner coming up. Let's see if Potomac just goes for the same look. This time they send it in. Schofield gets ahead on it. Stalker clears it out, and it's right to Jack Bleacher. He's going to look to run. Bleacher, 2-on-1. He's dragged down, and a foul will be called, and that's going to set up a free kick from a very dangerous position.
Let's see who for St. Chris is taking this, because at different spots on the field they have different people. And that also allows people in the box that are taller, like Kellen Welch, who's coming down for this free kick. See if he can get a touch on it at being 6'6".
It's Bashara lined up over it. Steven Bashara sends it in. Stalker nearly there, but it'll be sent out, and a corner is coming. So
that was a great look. I probably wanted to get it a little bit more to back post. He put that right in the center of the goal, which is a fine look. But if you get it over that whole defense, it's a better opportunity for your players to get it in.
Be Broughton taking it. He sends it short for Olsen. He sends it in. It's going to be cleared out. Yeah, I think they're going to
really close to a handball opportunity right there.
I think they're just going to call it incidental contact, but they might not have seen it as Broughton sends it in now. Over for Jack Bleacher. Ricochets off his body, still free. Bleacher has it. He goes down, and Kehoe, he recovers it. A very physical play. And near the touchline, it's going to be out, and it'll be going to, I believe it'll be going to the Saints, but miraculous there from Potomac. They somehow kept that out. The throw goes in for Jack Bleacher. Up in the air. It falls near Bleacher. Shot is going to be blocked. No, they're just going to say it was off target from Hudson.
Right there, in the earlier possession, the goalie for Potomac came really far out. That's when it got scary. Potomac was in good position until the goalie decided to come out that far, where he should have stayed in because the ball was just bouncing around so he could get a better eye on him. But that was the best look St. Chris has had all day, and the best look either team has had all day. So see if that keeps leading up for St. Chris.
Yeah,
gives some momentum.
Multiple good looks there from the Saints, just couldn't convert.
That's been the story of their second half of their season so far.
As Kehoe going to try to chase it down, it'll be sent out. But the second half of their season, they've definitely struggled with their finishing, but their creation has just been so good that they've created so many chances that some of them have gone in, but definitely not at the rate that Coach Wood would like to see. Is a lot of big chances missed. We saw one earlier when Kehoe set up Matt Sovich for a very dangerous chance in front of goal. Sovich couldn't get a foot on it. And events like that are what can cost you a game. So that's sent in for Bleacher. It's a bit off, but it'll fall right to Tyler Overstreet. He can't control it.
A little missed touch right there. Should have probably let it hit his body instead of his knee.
Mumford wins it back. Hudson applies some pressure as it's going to get by Kellen Welch, but Schofield will run it down. Smith send it deep. Bleacher.
It's been a little something right there.
Somehow keeps that, but it's past to Sovich, a bit off target. Throw in coming now for the Panthers. Nearly halfway through this second half. Still nothing on the scoreboard for either side.
What I see like now is what you said at the very beginning of the half is whoever scores first is most likely to come away with this victory. And that's even more true now because we only have 20 more minutes left in this half before we can go to overtime.
Potomac looks like they have no interest in applying pressure at all. Parking the bus here.
I think they want to go to PKs possibly. I don't know why, because St. Chris just came off a PK victory. Maybe they have film on like where the guys shoot, but you don't really want to put your goalie in that situation.
Lloyd Marshall. Pass goes right to Schofield. Saints are going to look to run. Sovic can't control it, but Mumford gets it back off the bad pass. Max Mumford has been so good the second half of the year. Goes for a Travella in for Jack Bleacher. It'll be sent out in the Saints throw upcoming. It looks like Bleacher walking a bit gingerly. Lucas Gordonier will come on alongside Campbell Stalker, and it looks like Bleacher will be coming off.
That's Lucas' first action all game, and he didn't play at all last Monday. So with Jackson being out, that's some players that are going to have to step up in this role today to help them get a victory. But Lucas has scored a goal. I think it was against Trinity or Collegiate that he had a big goal to help them get a huge victory in preps.
Stalker. Back to Olsen. He sends it to Steven Bishara. Bishara over for Gordonier. Sends it over for Sovic. He whips it in. It's going to be blocked and a corner coming. It'll be Lucas Gordonier.
Yeah, normally Grayson takes these corner kicks, so now that Lucas is doing it, see if he's better with them or is it to put height in there for a header opportunity.
As Gordonier's corner sent in. Falls near Kellen Welch. It's going to be cleared out. And it's going to fall right back to Welch. Saints still looking to create something. Kellen Welch sends it in. It's going to be off target.
Kellen Welch looked at the official on the side and asked for a handball. He was saying it got tipped or something, but the official won't give it to him. It'll be a goal kick.
The press for the Saints has been so good.
Good clear out.
As this clean sheet that they've kept so far has been completely deserved. Mumford. Here's a really good look for Potomac, but Beckett Schofield with a massive tackle. As sends it over for Campbell Stalker. For Olsen, over for Sovic.
Sovic needs to take that in the corner. I feel like maybe he doesn't feel like he had the opportunity or the advantage there, but at this point in the game, you just need to sit into the box.
Bishara over for Stalker. He takes on the shot, and it's just over the bar. Campbell Stalker tried to send a prayer out from about 35 yards.
That keeps the goalie honest, and maybe we'll keep him inside, closer to the goal instead of coming out in those spots. So I like that take right there from Campbell Stalker.
That header falls to Luke Britton. GP Sininsky to throw it in for Potomac. Right to Overstreet. His header goes right to Gordonier, and Max Mumford for the big tackle to prevent anything, but Will Bennett has it.
Scary opportunity. Big opportunity for Potomac, though.
Cross in. Smith whiffs on it, and Potomac is going to take the lead. Ben Smith couldn't come up with the cross, and I think that might have been an own goal. But the Saints now fall behind 1-0, and they're going to have 17 minutes to try to equalize this.
I think Potomac got the last touch on it, but that was – Ben Smith should have just caught it. He was trying to punch it out. I think if he goes with two hands there, he gets the he gets the stop there.
So Potomac been playing back, sitting back all game, seemed content with a 0-0 score. They open up the scoring, and the Saints now have 16 minutes to try to keep their season alive. It's Matt Sovich. And for Olsen, back to Sovich. And that's going to be cleared out, and let's see whether they give a corner or a throw. It will be a throw. It's over for Bashara. Steven Bashara over for Olsen. He sends it in. Falls near Daniel Kehoe, ricocheted back out. Matt Sovich. He sends it in. That's going to be a corner.
But going back to that goal that Potomac had is we were talking about Ben Smith being super aggressive, which can work out in his favor a lot of times, but a lot of times cannot. And right there was an opportunity right there. He was trying to punch the ball out. I think if he goes in and be just more conservative and just gets the ball and settles it down, he gets the save and saving opportunity.
Gordonier sends it in. It's free. Max Mumford hits the post. Kellen Welch. It's blocked. And somehow Potomac survives.
Two missed opportunities right there for St. Chris right in front of the goal. The goalie comes out and whiffs it just like Ben Smith, but St. Chris can't capitalize. I know Max Mumford's going to want that shot back. He takes one little quick second, not even a full second, and puts that on cage. It's a goal. And then Kellen Welch had such a low angle to put that on.
Saints have been dominating this game the whole time, but somehow just haven't been able to find that final pass to set up a big chance as Bleacher and Hudson will come back on.
Remember that this game only goes to 80 minutes because it is playoffs. So we only have 14 more minutes left in this game, plus added time. But instead of the extra 5 minutes, which would be a big difference right here for St. Chris, Potomac can really play passive and just allow the clock to milk down.
This is when you can really notice that Jackson Carlin's missing. The Saints have been lacking that final third pass. So here's Charlie Hudson. He sends it in for Sovich. Saints have numbers. Sovich whips it in for DeCosmo. It's going to be cleared out and another corner coming.
St. Chris has to capitalize on one of these sooner than later. You can't go this many corners this many times. With this many times of opportunities to score and not score. So St. Chris has to put one of these in sooner than later.
It will be Grayson DeCosmo sending it in.
Really low.
And right,
goal.
And it's Charlie Hudson, and the Saints are equal. 4 minutes after conceding, they're right back in it, and we have a whole new match here. Charlie Hudson has done it.
Like I just said, that many opportunities, putting it in the box, especially from the corner, you're going to get it sooner than later. It was a missed ball with the goalie tried to go forward, missed touch, just like Ben Smith. And finally right there, Charlie Hudson puts the ball in the goal. He's the one that scored the only goal for St. Chris in their victory against Cape Henry on Monday. So with this student section being here for St. Chris, all the momentum's in St. Chris' favor. And this is huge, especially for Ben Smith's confidence, which allowing up that big goal. So with this 1-1 game, it is crazy to see.
Whole new match now as all the momentum that Potomac had after that goal has gone away.
And you can hear it getting loud here at City Stadium with the cowbells from the parents and the students screaming. So I know it will rattle Potomac a little bit with barely any fans here for them.
As you can tell, the Saints very confident now. I don't think they're playing for extra time. They think they're going to win this game in the next 12 minutes.
And that's without probably their best player, Jackson Carlisle.
Jack Bleacher over for Broughton. I don't know what the change Coach Wood made was, but after the Saints conceded, whatever he told them worked magically, as that's the best attack we've seen from them all night. those last 4 minutes in between the goal. As it's Broughton, he has a ton of space. An ocean of green ahead of him. He's going to send it in. It's Matt Sovic. Sovic near the goal line. He tries to send it in. Couldn't get very much on it. Nobody there.
I think he was trying to send it a little bit off of Potomac's player to get another corner opportunity because there was really no one in the box for Matt Sovic to send that in. So I think he was trying to make a better IQ play, but it barely missed the Potomac player's leg. And to the left of the screen, Potomac's guys limping off. Ben Smith helping him, showing good sportsmanship, but that's what the pause in this game action is for right now.
That's Luke Britton coming off for Potomac, the junior midfielder. His time winding down here. We're into the final 10 minutes of regular time. We very well could be seeing extra time coming. And I mean, this is a stark contrast from what we saw last year from St. Christopher's in the tournament, as all three of their wins, very easy wins, and these two, not so much, as a penalties win and now a game equal in the 70th minute as Hudson clears that one out. The keeper way out there. He will retreat into his box, pick it up.
I want to highlight that Jack Bleacher is playing midfield, and they sent Campbell Stalker down to striker, switch those two. So that's an interesting change right there from Coach Wood.
There's Welch. He sends it over to Grayson DeCosmo, and foul was called. Not sure why advantage wasn't given, as the foul slowed down a pretty promising St. Christopher's counterattack.
And with 9 minutes left in regulation, plus with whatever added time left, St. Chris is going to be really aggressive, I believe, and Potomac's going to be relaxed and just try to get it to overtime. Little shove right there, and it will be St. Chris ball.
Great work from Overstreet. Into the 72nd minute now. Can the Saints come up with a miracle? Lethargic attack from them for the first 66 minutes. Charlie Hudson finally capitalized. We're all equal at 1 now on a cold November night here at City Stadium.
Now St. Chris is relaxing, taking their time, trying to set up their offense instead of just pushing it, being super aggressive. As Beckett Schofield tries to send it up.
It's going to be over the line, throw coming. You can see collegiate side over behind Ben Smith. So that collegiate team, incredibly dominant, 19-1. Flag is up. DeCosmo called offsides. So the wind is really starting to pick up now. But collegiate 19-1 this year. I mean, there's not much to say that hasn't already been said about that team. They are very good. As Norfolk Academy gonna look to pull off a shocker right after this match ends. And whoever wins that game will take on the winner of this match. And I would like to note the one team that has beaten Collegiate and kept them from a flawless season was the Saints, as in the middle of September, 2-1 win at Massey in an incredible game. 10 minutes of extra time, or 10 minutes of additional time at the end of that second half. Collegiate hit the bar once, came very close to equalizing, but the Saints did come away with a victory and ended Collegiate's hopes at an invincible season, which that was the only time they did falter all year. So Olsen has it. Great touch from him as it's with Jack Bleacher. He sends it for Matt Sovic. He lets it go. It's Bashara. Steven Bashara sends it in right at the keeper.
He couldn't get a good enough angle on that, but that was a smart play right there from Matt Sovich. That's just the IQ and connection he has with Bashara, just letting it go through. Saw Bashara coming up the side and just let him get it on full head of steam to get down the sideline.
Yeah, like we mentioned earlier, that left flank for the Saints has been deadly all year, with Sovich and Bashara combining for over 20 goal contributions. Excuse me, over 15 goal contributions. As Potomac clears it out. Kellen Welch can't win the header, but Bashara is right there. As the Saints have cooled off on their attack a little bit. The adrenaline has faded from the Hudson equalizer, and it looks like now they might be a little bit more content going into an additional 10 minutes.
I just want to think about, like, last time St. Chris went into overtime, which was Monday. They put Dougie in at the beginning, the first overtime, and then put Ben Smith at the second overtime. See what Coach Wood does today.
Wow, that's an incredible tackle, as foul committed by Olsen, as he will be given a yellow. I think that's a necessary foul. You can't let a counterattack happen.
Yeah, I agree there.
Yeah, Sutton needs to be careful for the rest of this game. Can't pick up the second yellow.
It's also going to add more added time, but not too much there. I think at the pace it's going in right now, the added time should be around probably 3 minutes. It was 1 minute in the first, but there's been more stoppage this half.
Colin Cordell to take the free kick. He goes short. It's Mac Wilson. He's going to send it in now. And Smith with a leaping effort.
He didn't have to do that, but we like to see it. It was heading out of bounds.
He wanted to take no chances on that one. And
exactly. Gets the crowd riled up a little bit as well.
Schofield over for Evan Broughton. Is that pass off target? And Bleacher looked like a little bit of a push there. As can Potomac come up with that big goal that they're looking for to punch their ticket to the state tournament final? It's Chase Edwards. He sends it in.
That was a great shot opportunity. It was about, I would say, a foot or 2 feet too high from the post, and Ben couldn't get a reach on it no matter what. But luckily it goes over. Ben Smith is a smaller goalie that you see for soccer leagues. They're normally bigger. Ben Smith is more of a smaller athletic type, which can be good in a lot of situations, but also bad in those type of long out type of shots.
Yeah, Ben's listed at just 5'8". And I mean, normally you're going to see a giant in goal. As time winds down here at City Stadium. It falls to Sovich. Sovich got it over to Hudson, tried to link up with Stalker, but nothing going. Ball
Great play
up
by
for
Grayson
grabs.
Cosmo.
DeCosmo gets it to Stalker. Campbell Stalker, through ball for Sovich. Do the Saints have some magic? It's cleared out.
I'm glad that Potomac kicked that out. Even for St. Chris, it lets our whole offense get down there. It was just a 1-on-3 for St. Chris, which is not going to work out most of the time.
Bleacher comes on for Hudson. The Saints bring on their leading goal scorer as they look to come up with a miracle. It's Bashara to throw it in. Steven Bashara, he sends it over for Olsen. He somehow keeps it in.
Oh, that was a late call, but it's probably the right call. But
yeah,
as a St. Chris fan, you don't want to see that. Puts it in the corner, is able to lob it in, most likely.
Yeah. I was very surprised when the whistle wasn't blown initially. I don't know. Did not look like Olsen had any angle for that. As Welch wins back that header. Falls for DeCosmo. Max Mumford over for Campbell Stalker. Do the Saints have a miracle in their bones? As maybe one last counter for Potomac. That ball in. It's Scharf.
That's great defense right there by St. Chris, getting everyone back. You don't see that.
Cross in. It's cleared out. Falls with Mumford. He will send it out. Right to Bleacher. It's Jack Bleacher. It's Evan Broughton.
With the final minute left in regulation before added time's coming up, see if St. Chris pushes it in real quick.
Through ball for Bleacher. It's Sovich. It's going to be sent out. Throw coming for the Saints. It's Evan Broughton. Looking for something. It's Jack Bleacher. Back to Broughton. He can't win it back. And that'll be another throw coming. We approach the final. As we approach 80. And we are now in to stoppage time. Do the Saints have a miracle? It's Broughton throwing it in. It's Jack Bleacher. It's Evan Broughton. He sends it in. It falls to Stalker. Right in front of goal. Campbell Stalker. Shot's blocked. It'll be over the line. Corner is coming.
This is a big play coming up for St. Chris. This is the way they scored last time. The fans are getting loud. A couple players are telling the student section to get loud. This could be the last big play for either team coming up with this corner kick from Grayson DeCosmo.
It's Grayson DeCosmo. He sends it in. Falls. Sent out for Olsen. Back to DeCosmo. Grayson DeCosmo. And they're going to say he was over the line.
I don't know why Grayson sent such a line drive. He probably didn't mean to do that, but that's the second time today he sent a line drive, and just the front line of the defense could get a touch on that and send it out.
So the Saints now have to withstand whatever Potomac has coming. Olsen over to Bashara. He clears it, but it falls right back with Potomac. Headed up by Olsen. Mumford will be fouled. It'll be going to the Saints.
And like I said, 3 minutes around added time. We're at 81-33, so we probably have a minute to a minute and a half left before they call overtimes.
One more push coming.
And they have Ben Smith setting it. So.
He has a huge leg. He might be sending this into the box.
Could possibly go in the goal. I've seen him kick it so far.
It's Smith. He has to make sure to get back right away after the free kick, as you cannot let Potomac have anything. Smith sends it in. Up for Kellen Welch. The ball's free. Keeper out of net. And a foul was called.
That was an iffy call. The goalie for Potomac has been very aggressive the second half. First half was very passive. And all of a sudden it's been a different switch. And he's came out multiple times. One ended up in a goal for them. But 2 other times it's worked out for him.
And that will do it for the initial 80 minutes. And we will have 10 more minutes coming up for you guys shortly. This is SDC TV. We'll be back. Hello and welcome back to Extra Time. 80 minutes couldn't separate these two sides. And the Saints going to look to survive. They have experience in these extra time games as they played one Monday. No goals in the additional 10 minutes. They won in penalties.
I was just about to say that St. Chris has the experience in these situations, and they're older. They have a lot of senior leadership, and St. Chris scored the last goal, so they have the momentum. They have this crowd here to help them out. So I think the momentum and all this stuff is on St. Chris's side. So Potomac might be playing very passive, trying to get to penalty kicks, which St. Chris has won, and they have Ben Smith, who has stopped 3 PKs on Monday and has stopped 5 total this year, which is crazy.
Yeah, and obviously the Saints did win in penalties on Monday, but don't want to be testing your fate.
And as well, St. Chris definitely has the depth, like we mentioned at the beginning of the show, is Coach Wood subs a lot. He keeps like 4 or 5 guys rotating in throughout the whole game to give everyone breaks and their legs keep moving. So through this next 5 to 10 minutes, see the best of the better for St. Chris out there at all times. Yeah. And that could help St. Chris with their legs not being as tired as Potomac's.
Yeah. During the break, it was announced that these are 2 5-minute sudden death periods, so it does differ from normal soccer. So
sorry for the wind. I know y'all can hear it. It's getting very windy here.
Very chilly up here.
If we zoom in on the flag to our right, you can see it nonstop wagging to the right, so you can understand what the players are going through.
It's very cold.
But it's getting cold, chilly, windy. That's just the environment these players are playing in. Started out this year very hot. Everyone's cramping every 5 minutes to these freezing weathers. That's just what the fall sports bring to you.
I've got to say, whoever wins this game on Friday, they'll probably be wishing they had this weather, as it's going to be about this cold with some rain on Friday. As Potomac looking it's Bashara.
That was such a late call, but it is for St. Chris. I thought it was going to go against St. Chris.
Yeah. So 2 short periods upcoming. Both teams going to leave it all out there on the field. Don't need much energy for penalty kicks. As 2 Potomac men collide. It falls with
called their great slide tackle by Charlie Hudson.
That'll be cleared out, and one back by the Potomac keeper. Jack Pleacher gets in there. Nearly comes up with a block. As both these teams' seasons could end at any minute. Whoever scores will be moving on to take on either Collegiate or Norfolk, because that is a gorgeous ball from Schofield and for Sovich. As it falls to Charlie Hudson. The senior midfielder scored the only goal on Monday, equalized tonight. Does he have any more magic in him in his final campaign for the Saints? Stephen Bashara to throw it in. Over for Sutton Olsen.
I like this idea of reversing the field. I know St. Chris normally attacks from the left side with Matt Sovich, but give Grayson DeCosmo a chance and just see it from a different angle, which will
brought in
challenging for Potomac.
For Olsen, he's tried to get it through ball. It's blocked, cleared out, right back to Schofield. As it's Bashara now. Sends it in for Sovich. He can't control it, but Bashara wins it right back. Stephen Bashara has contact, foul called on the junior left back. Frigid night here at City Stadium. As heavy winds. It's Potomac looking for that goal.
It's opportunity up here for Potomac.
Here is a very good look for them. DeCosmo sends it out. Corner coming for the Panthers.
He almost got that out of the sideline instead of the bottom line, which would have made a throw-in, which would have helped St. Chris a lot more here. It is sudden death, so if Potomac scores here, the game is over, and they will advance to Friday at 7:30.
As they go short. They've gone short the last 2 times. It's Lloyd Marshall taking it, the center back. He sends it in, low liner, right at Schofield. It's going to be blocked out for another corner.
It's a missed touch right there. I don't know if Schofield's down from pain or sad or his illness that he is fighting. He didn't play the first 8 minutes, sat on the bench because of it. But since then, he has not been on the field the whole time.
Yeah, he's been a warrior tonight. As I'm sure it's in the back of his mind that tonight could be his final game for St. Christopher's as another low liner comes in. Schofield clears it.
Great
falls
header
to Marshall. And that's going to be over the touchline. And
with about a minute coming up in extra in overtime, see how
likely some additional time will be added to the end of these 5 minutes.
I don't think they do added time, or
I think they'll do a little bit.
In overtime on Monday, they did not do that. They did 0 added time. They just did 5 minutes and it's over.
Here's Kellen Welch. That's a gorgeous through ball for Bashara. The Saints trying to find something. Steven Bashara.
He needs to pass it.
In for Hudson. Tried to get it back to Bashara, but it was intercepted.
I think you could have passed that to Hudson a little sooner.
Here's Scharf.
This is scary.
Kellen Welch has an angle. And gorgeous tackle. I'm not sure if he got the ball. I don't think he did. I think that could have been.
I think he got the ball, just the way it bounced.
Maybe.
With the angle Potomac's guy was running at, there's no way the ball would have bounced that fast that way. I don't think he got his leg. He must have, if he did it his leg, it was after the ball. But it's another corner kick here for Potomac at the 5-minute mark. So this will be most likely the last thing that happens in the first overtime.
Corner is taken. It's going to be right back to Ritter. Can he come up with something? He crosses it in. It's going to be fall to the Saints, and that will do it. So 5 minutes in the books, 5 more to play, and then we could see penalties. We'll be back for the second period of extra time. Welcome back. 5 more minutes. And then we could see penalties once again. Saints looking for something. Any goal would win it. There's heavy pressure here from Stalker. But Potomac does a good job to reconvene. So they have a good counterattack going. And Schofield gives it right back. Satinsky. And Schofield will be called for a foul.
There's a free kick coming right up here, but this is like an odd positioning. It's still a good position for Potomac, but you don't practice this one every day. You normally practice ones up higher in the middle of the field compared to down here.
It's a pretty dangerous position, however. We've seen the Saints score from here multiple times this year. As Potomac, who had been so conservative all game, sitting back. Could they come up with the winner here in extra time? Smith between the posts.
And we do have a one-man wall, but it's the smallest player on the field.
Colin Cordell taking it in, punched out by Smith. And I believe the flag, they're going to take it again.
I don't know what they're
I guess
calling
the
here.
whistle wasn't blown, but I don't think you can
I
give
don't
them.
think you can kick it there in
Yeah.
that situation. That should be.
Yeah, that should be a violation on Potomac. They are very lucky that they get to take that again.
We saw what they did the first time. See if we can do the exact same thing with Ben Smith punching it out.
As it will be Colin Cordell standing over it.
They send it in.
He whips it in. Smith comes down with it.
That's a great
Wow.
catch. Lands hard on his back, and I think
He is down. As Ben Smith sacrifices his body there for the save. And Robin Eldridge will come out. Is Dougie Boardman.
I think it's most likely he just lost his breath, got the wind knocked out of him as he's starting to stand up right now. If the trainer gets all the way out there, I think he has to come off. I don't know, but he's trying to wave her off, and he does. It was more just the wind knocking out of him as he's kind of holding his collarbone, but I think it's more the wind knocking out of him, most likely, if he's able to get up right there. But that was a great catch right there. That was a great ball by Potomac's player, but better play by Ben Smith right there.
No matter what the injury was, I don't think there's any way Smith was going to let them take him off the pitch unless he absolutely had to.
Indeed. He's like Beckett. He wants to play all the time. He's a hard worker. He's a warrior. Everything you want in a player, especially a goalkeeper.
Schofield, he sends it deep. It's Grayson DeCosmo chasing it. It falls near the feet of Marshall, and they will
hit it off.
Award a corner.
That was a great play by Grayson DeCosmo there. He hit it off of Potomac's guy's leg and just went right out of bounds. And that would be a corner for Matt Sovich coming up. It's the opposite side they scored on earlier here, but magical touch could possibly give them a goal to win it.
Sovich takes it. It's high. It falls near Hudson, and it's still free. And near the goal line, Sovich is there and somehow cleared off the line. And the whistle blows. I think the flag had to have been up for an offsides. I don't know what other.
I think they might have. Maybe the official didn't see it earlier. Maybe he was out of bounds and they couldn't see it. So I think that's what they call it, is the ball actually being out of bounds when Charlie Hudson tried to save it.
So wasted opportunity for St. Christopher's as time winds down before penalties could arrive. Lyle sends it deep. At the 4:30 mark, and that'll fall right to Ben Smith. Maybe one last push for St. Christopher's. They've been miraculous.
About 20 seconds. They need to get over the midline before it crosses 5 minutes, as he does.
Schofield sends it deep. It'll be taken back by Potomac. Do they have one final push? Bashara takes it away, and it'll. Wow, what a slide tackle from Olsen. And that'll be cleared out. We'll be back to Potomac. We are over the 5-minute mark.
It's added time.
So, yeah, some stoppage time definitely coming with a couple corners and Ben Smith going down for a bit.
I think he raised up a 1. Might have been a 2, but from here, it looked like a 1.
Maybe one push for the Saints. It's Sovich. Saints have been miraculous all season. Do they have one more miracle?
Hard, but that was the right idea right there from Matt Sovich, trying to get it, that Sutton Olsen over there.
I think once this is cleared over the line, that'll probably be it.
So if you're St. Chris, would you press up really heavily here then, if that's what you believe?
Why not? It's taken away by Olsen. Sutton Olsen. It's Sovich.
Oh.
It's going to be one back. Some contact. Welch heads it back. It'll fall to Sovich. It is Matt Sovich. It's wide.
I like that shot opportunity because I don't think you're going to get a better look than that. I know it's far out, but the goalie wasn't ready for that. But we're going to go to PKs.
Potomac and St. Christopher's will go to penalties. Ticket to the state championship on the line. Saints won in penalties on Monday night. And 10 kicks of the ball will decide these two team seasons.
So the people that kicked the penalty kicks last week for St. Chris was Jack Bleacher, Grayson DeCosmo,
Jackson Carlin, Charlie Hudson. Yes. Charlie Hudson and Steven Bashara.
Yeah, exactly.
So Carlin was their second taker. We'll see who goes
in the spot.
Yeah.
I'm guessing it's either going to be Sutton Olsen or Matt Sovich, or my two guesses.
Or no, wait, excuse me, Campbell Stalker took it, not Charlie Hudson.
Not Charlie Hudson.
So maybe Charlie Hudson, yeah. And we'll be back for penalty. We welcome you to penalties. The Saints miraculously won on Monday afternoon in penalties. They won 4-3, and for the second consecutive game, their season will rely on 10 kicks of the ball. And last year, the Saints had a dominant run through this state tournament. Other than they never trailed. They had one close game against Potomac, but other than that, it was domination the whole way and very stress-free.
And
about the polar opposite so far here.
And I just want to mention the whole St. Chris student section's moving down to the goal. They're doing it, and to give their teammates support or their school support. Try to scream when we're in the goal and they're shooting to mess them up. Don't do it the other way around. But
yeah, that is an advantage the Saints have. This is a home game for them essentially. Potomac making that 2-hour drive down from just outside of Maryland. They couldn't bring any fans on a Wednesday night. And
St. Chris will be shooting first. Jack Bleacher's up first. So last time on Monday, St. Chris shot second. See if that changes up, because I know shooting first is not what you want to do. You would rather shoot second.
Also because you can play some mind games when you're shooting second. If, like for example, if the first person misses, it's a common strategy for someone to go down the middle, is if the first person misses, the keeper would feel more tense, and they're definitely going to be more likely to dive somewhere. So a lot of the times if the first shooter does miss, the second man or the first man for the next team will go down the middle. St. Christopher's and Potomac. The winner of Collegiate and Norfolk awaits the winner of this match. spot kicks to decide these 2 seasons. Jack Bleacher to take it. William Lyle between the posts. I don't think you could ask for a better ending. Jack Bleacher, the Saints' leading goal scorer here, stands over it as he'll take the first of 5 penalties for the St. Christopher's.
I know y'all can hear the wind.
Bleacher versus Lyle. And we are off in the penalty shootout. Jack Bleacher scores. Lyle gets right. Bleacher pushed it past him. And a huge first conversion for the Saints.
And that helps out Ben Smith's confidence a lot more instead of like relying on Ben Smith so much, which that's what you're doing here. But knowing that you got the first one down just helps Ben Smith's confidence personally out so well.
It's Patrick Ritter to take it for Potomac. Smith's been magical all year on these spot kicks. Saved 2 on Monday, had saved multiple in the regular season.
3 on Monday.
Can he do it again here? Ritter from the spot. And he goes, and that's going to be a violation, I believe.
I think they gave it to him. I'm not positive, though. So is it 1-1? Did they give him that?
Not sure. I believe so, as I imagine there would be a much more frustrated reaction from the Potomac side. As it is now Campbell Stalker standing over it. Ritter and Bleacher convert. And now it is Campbell Stalker. And he's netted it. Lyle's guessed right both times, but it doesn't matter.
So on Monday, both times, the 2 guys that went first both shot it right. This time, they mixed it up. So if you do watch a film, you don't know where they're going. And it's hard to compete in PK already, but if they don't go the same way every time, it's even harder.
As Luke Britton now to stand over it. And Britton, he scored. Smith gone right twice. Potomac gone to their right. And
Ben Smith almost every time jumps right. He jumped left once out of all the 6 PKs they had on Monday, because one was in during game time, but he jumped right all 5 other times. So he likes just guessing and make it a 50-50. Goes right almost every other time.
I wonder if at some point, maybe if he goes right again here, maybe he goes left the next time to try to play some mind games with them. Because now it'll be the senior captain, Beckett Schofield. We weren't sure if we'd even see him tonight. He's battling an illness. Started the game on the bench, but came out in the 8th minute. Didn't leave the pitch since. He's been a warrior tonight, and he stands over it. 12 yards away. Beckett Schofield, he scores!
And Beckett Schofield is the one that filled in for Jackson Carline right there, and he fills in big shoes and capitalizes on right there after a hard work night for him, and it's 2-3.
In my personal opinion, Schofield's been the player I've been the most impressed with.
Especially, he saved 3 fast breaks at least, and capitalizes right there, and it's on the illness of what he's having.
His performance alone's been incredible, but when you factor in that he's not fully fit, it makes it even more shocking. As it is now Colin Cordell to stand over it, the junior midfielder. And he slots it past Smith. He guessed right and just couldn't come up with it. So both sides 3 for 3. It'll be Grayson to Grayson DeCosmo taking it now.
He was the only one that missed it on Monday. Looked like he was going to go right and then pulled it left at the last second and pulled it too far left. See what he does this time. Just keep it simple, Grayson.
Senior captain, Grayson DeCosmo. He's been in these moments before. And he scores here. 4-3 now.
Ooh, if Ben Smith makes a save right here, you got to think St. Chris will come out with a victory. Just St. Chris is putting them on goal almost every. If you just put them on goal, it's hard to save, hard enough. But St. Chris is in the mind of the Potomac's goalie right now.
Penalties, at least in the pros, we don't have numbers for high school, but generally around 75 to 80% conversion rate. But a lot of the times when they are missed, it's because they're off target. So if you can get it on target, usually about a 90% chance that you'll score. As now Mac Wilson stands over it. 4-3. Wilson, the fourth taker for Potomac. And that is when you need your goalkeeper. Ben Smith comes up with a big save, and the Saints are one penalty away from moving on to the state championship.
Right here is the kick that will win it. Same spot last time on Monday. We needed this kick to win it, and who's kicking it again?
Steven Bashara.
Bashara is kicking it, and he sealed it last time. So see if he can do it again, and I know that student section is going to go crazy. This players are going to run on the field, tackle Ben Smith, because that's his 6th PK save all year.
Steven Bashara has a chance to punch their ticket. He converted the big penalty to win it on Monday. With their season hanging in the balance from 12 yards out, it's Steven Bashara, the junior fullback. Bashara takes it, and the Saints are moving on! Back-to-back wins and penalties, and the Saints miraculously are going to the state championship. Bashara wins it, and the Saints will be taking on the winner of Collegiate in Norfolk here at City Stadium on Friday night. As 2 years in a row now, they're moving on. Bashara is the hero, and the Saints have done it.
That just shows the St. Chris's grit throughout this whole year. They've been a team that people that don't believe in, think it's going to be an easy game, but they come here, go to the state finals against, like you said, Collegiate or Norfolk Academy, and I think it's on the seniors of this team. They've been holding it up, showing their leadership throughout the whole year, and it's coming up big in these close games back-to-back.
The Saints go 5 for 5 on penalties. Smith comes up with a big save on the 4th, and they will be taking on either Norfolk Academy or they could have their third dance with Collegiate here at Friday night. What a match. The Saints lethargic for the first 66 minutes. They concede in the 63rd, and some were losing hope, but Charlie Hudson equalized. That gave them the jolt of momentum. Couldn't convert anything after that in extra time or those final 13 minutes. They go into penalties for a second game in a row, and for the second match in a row, Steven Bashara comes up the hero, and the Saints will be moving on. They upset Potomac. 1-1 your final, 5-3 in penalties. We will see you Friday night. I'm Edison Columbia alongside Riley Mullins. We thank every single one of you for tuning in. What a match.